Hi, this is Zap, and welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast.
I just need a reset. No, it's not enough to press pause. I think I need a reset. I need a reset. Reset.
Welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast. I am your host, Zap, and with me is my co-host, TJ, who I will be discussing with some topics that are of utmost importance, but also fun. Can you say hi to our listeners?
Hey, everybody. What's up? It's your boy, TJ.
Welcome. And to all of our listeners out there, I want to thank you, first of all, for choosing us to listen to the very first episode of Reset and Zap podcast. And I want to give you a quick reminder to drop those reviews and those ratings, as it is utterly important for us to know if you're enjoying it, if we need to make any adjustments as we go, and just make it convenient for you, but also fun for us.
Oh, yeah. Let us know what's up.
Yeah, definitely. And we have to start, of course, with our famous segment. I'm calling it right now. It's going to be our popular segment.
Okay.
Which is Rewind. Because this has been an ongoing debate for the past 2 or 3 years in my live stream community. As you all know, I live stream at twitch.tv/ZapCristal.
Check it out.
And YouTube/ZapCristal.
Check it out.
And we've been having this discussion that is very, very important.
Yeah, it's actually it's of the utmost importance.
Yeah. And we need to find and resolve. We gotta fix this problem once and for all.
Yeah, it's up to us. Only we can do it.
Yeah. And the question is a chicken sandwich a sandwich or a burger?
I'm going to have to start off by saying a chicken sandwich is not a burger.
Why is that?
Because, in my opinion, a burger has to be made of ground meat.
Okay.
And a chicken, like if you had ground chicken, then you would have a chicken burger.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just like a chicken breast on some bread, then that's a sandwich, but it's not a burger. Okay. That is where I'm coming from on this.
See, this is the grand debate. See, this is what we have to discuss on these podcasts.
Yeah.
Screw what's going on around the world. Is a chicken sandwich a sandwich or a burger? So for me, anything that is between 2 slices of bread or just, any sort of bun is for me a sandwich. So like right now, I can't even categorize a burger just by itself as a burger. Like, I consider a burger a sandwich.
So you're saying that a burger is a kind of sandwich?
Exactly. I do think it is a sandwich because you have toppings. You add in a little bit of lettuce, a tomato, all your nice little, mayo, ketchup, I don't know, whatever you want to add to it. So, like, it's all nicely prepped. There's layers to it. So it's a sandwich. I mean, it's technically the same thing. You want a ham sandwich, ham. If you're broke, ham, slices of bread, and you're done. Now, if you're a little bit fancy, you got some more money, you throw in, those toppings in between. Dress it up, make it look pretty.
Okay, so all right. So here's another question I have then. If you're using sliced bread or a bun, does that make a difference? Like if I put just like a slice of ham on a bun, does that make that a burger?
I still consider it a sandwich. I think it is a sandwich.
So what makes a burger then?
That's the issue I have, because technically at the end of the day, it's still some sort of meat. It's meat. So it doesn't matter in what shape or form it comes in. You're still adding some sort of protein. You're adding your toppings and all that things. So I don't even think it's necessary to call something by itself just a burger. Like maybe the way it's cooked? Is that the definition of a burger? The way it's cooked? You know what I mean?
That is interesting.
Because like sandwiches are almost like what we call our cold cut. You know what I mean?
But some sandwiches are cooked, like a panini.
Oh, well, that's true. Or pastrami.
That is cooked.
Or a Cuban sandwich. Ooh,
It's really good, by the way.
So good.
That is technically cooked. And you go to Subway and they will say, hey, do you want your sandwich toasted? That's technically cooking it.
Oh, but then again, it's the bread. It's not the content. Scratch that. Go back. Yeah, they do kind of,
They put it all in there. So you're technically cooking it.
Yeah, true.
So does that make a Subway sandwich a burger?
I still consider everything a sandwich.
So what is the point of even the term burger?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why you have to give burger its own category.
So what makes it a burger probably is just that the meat is just ground.
That's my theory. That ground meat is what substitutes a burger.
Makes it stand out?
Yeah, because you got ground turkey, that makes a turkey burger.
Okay.
You got ground chicken, that makes a chicken burger. You got ground steak, that's a steak burger. I think it's the actual grinding of the meat, the grounding of the meat that actually makes it a burger.
But then we got to go on a segue, because wouldn't that be the same thing for a hot dog?
But you don't ground a hot dog.
But then the meat that already comes prepared is technically ground.
It's not really ground, it's more like squeezed.
Oh, God.
It's more just like kind of thing going
Whatever
on.
we got left over.
Yeah, you just squeeze it together and just
do it again.
Just put it through like a shaper, and it's not really ground. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little. Like you have to get those little Play-Doh things.
Play-Doh.
And you just like push it, and it just comes out like that. That's pretty much how hot dogs are made.
So in other words, we can shape this. I don't know where we're going with the hot dog one, but in whatever shape we want it to be.
Yeah.
So if I wanted a star.
Yeah, you could.
If I wanted a Mario pipe.
Star dog.
Star dog.
Yeah, just
a Mario pipe dog.
That's pretty much how it's not really ground. You know what I'm saying?
What if I wanted a cappy?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
The shape of a cappy.
Cappy dog.
Cappy dog. That actually does not sound. Maybe we should start our own business.
I think we're onto something here.
Yeah, we're onto something. Definitely we're onto something.
I don't know what, but we're onto something.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to our chicken sandwich and burger discussion, let's let the listeners comment and tag into this and let us know what are their thoughts. Do they think, like, what's the definition of chicken sandwich, or what makes a burger a burger?
Yeah, because my thing is, if we're just saying that a sandwich is a piece of meat between two pieces of bread, that means there is no such thing as a burger.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just a sandwich.
So have we finally been able to crack the case and solve this once and for all, or are we still going to have this ongoing discussion?
Yeah, I don't think it's over yet.
No?
It might be a part 2 to this.
Yeah. Do you think we need to Google now our definitions for next time?
Yeah, let's get official definitions.
Get technical.
Yeah, you guys you drop some comments and let us know what you guys think on this deep-rooted discussion that is detrimental to mankind if we don't solve.
We're going to change the world.
Yes. That's what we're here for.
The destiny of sandwiches and burgers are in our hands. And we shall forge once and for all the real definition of chicken sandwich and a burger. Yeah. This will go on. This is ongoing.
Yeah.
We're just transferring this legacy onto our future generations.
Yes.
We need to properly educate them.
Jesus Christ. What are we doing right now? What is this? What have we become?
I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing. I still think everything is a sandwich in this world. Hashtag let it be a sandwich. Let it be.
Hashtag burger life.
Hashtag burger life.
Over here. Yeah. Burger life over here.
But anyways, now that we're done with this incredible discussion that has contributed to each and every one of you who are listening right now, we shall go into a more serious discussion, which is the meaty part, the meaty segment, and it's
the burger of the burger of the podcast.
The burger of the podcast, and it's our reset time. And this one is a discussion we've had for a long time, and I'm actually really excited to dive deep into this and see where we're coming from, lens of life, our perspective, what we've lived, our own experiences, and give a little bit of a more, deeper insight to those who are listening to us today,
Okay.
And for this segment, we're going to be discussing about, it's not about the product, it's about the brand. I'm going to let you start into, this discussion you can like share your points, because I think it kind of started with us just driving, going somewhere, and in the car. That's usually how it always is.
Yeah.
We have these really serious and deep conversations. So, do you mind starting us off?
It kind of, the way this whole conversation started is when I was talking about, because for those of you who don't know, I am in the music industry where, I create my own music production and stuff. And that's kind of where this discussion started from, whereas like there's a lot of artists out there nowadays who don't really make music. Like they're more known for what they do than the music. They're more known for their antics. Like there are artists, I'm not gonna call nobody out. We're gonna be nice today.
Yeah.
But there's artists out there who you know more for their social media presence, or the things them getting in trouble, or some kind of controversy that they're dealing with. You know more so about that than their actual music, and that seems to be where a lot of their fan base seems to come from. And that's where I came up with this thing of like, it's more about the brand and the product. Like these people have become greater than what they do.
Yeah.
So it's like you have these artists that are just like, the people follow them because of what they are and what they represent more so than their actual music. And I think this is kind of a weird space to be in now.
Yeah. So we're coming from a place that where you're going to discuss it from is from a more artistical, like music approach as an artist, as a producer. Me, on the other hand, I'm coming from a content creator space, which you will tag along eventually too, because like we've talked about recently, you have considered yourself somewhat a content creator as well.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing that it's kind of happened now, where I feel like in a way, a lot of artists have become content creators. It's just whatever kind of content that they are creating. But it's kind of like music has gone beyond just music. Like once upon a time, it was just about making music, and you put the music out, you put out a music video, and that was pretty much it. But now in these days, to like actually even like be heard, you have to have a social media presence. You have to have a YouTube channel. You have to have, you have to have more outlets than just your natural music outlets to actually even get a chance to be heard. So it's like, in a way, I feel like all musicians have become content creators. And I've noticed this in my own path, because it's like, in a way, yeah, I am now.
Yeah, like what my grandma always used to say, like what is not advertised is not known. You kind of have to put yourself out there for people to know what you bring and what you have to offer to whatever community or whatever space you're in. Yeah. On my end, as a content creator, it's all about building your own space, your own community, bringing out your own unique skills, talents, your personality comes into play greatly for them to want to even care about following you, subscribing, building a relationship with you, and most importantly, connecting with you as a content creator. So, I've kind of come to the point that when I'm on social media, it's kind of depressing sometimes, because you look at all these content creators in, let's say in the gaming space, which is pretty saturated and competitive in a way.
Very true.
So the biggest challenge is standing out. And I get to see a lot of these content creators where they're known for things that are not necessarily the most positive things, drama related, problems within, the social media world, within the own content creator space. And, you know them more for these things, but then when it comes to the product itself, you don't really know what they're known for.
Yeah, and this is actually something that we were discussing before, where there's like certain content creators that I've seen like in the social media world. It's like one day I actually sat down and I realized, I was like, I actually don't know what this person does.
Yeah.
I just know that they're that person online that's like always dealing with drama and always got some kind of drama attached to their name, but I've actually never seen anything related to their content.
Yeah. So like they've built a name, but you know them for those things, which is not necessarily a good thing to be known for.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things that in my early content creation journey was one of the very first questions that my mentor actually asked me. Is like, what do you want to be known for? You know, if you can't answer that question yourself, that means you're still on what I call this clarity path, where you're kind of defining yourself as a content creator and you're figuring out, you know, what is going to be your legacy. In the beginning, as all content creators, even if it's not intentional, we tend to mimic or imitate other content creators we look up to until eventually we find our own space. Nowadays, I can easily say, you know, that at least as for me, you know, people know me for, I want to say 3 simple things. You know, one of them is my 3DS collection. You know, it was never my intention to be known for 3DS content, but because I'm so passionate about it, I'm pretty much known for it. 2, my Resident Evil collection. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. And number 3, following up with, you know, Resident Evil, I am a Capcom creator. I'm an Xbox ambassador. So talking about Capcom, talking about Xbox is the main 3 things that I'm known for. It's easier for me now to define it because that's what my audience comes to my channel for, to watch that type of content. But maybe in the beginning, I really didn't know what I was bringing to the table. You know, I thought I had an idea because when you met me, I was pretty much just doing 90s nostalgia, talking about my childhood experiences. And at some point, I really thought my channel was in the right direction until something clicked and I just completely rebranded my channel. And now I'm in a much better space where I kind of know what to do and where to go with it. So, you know, talking about this, what about for you?
I'm about to say, I was actually just thinking about it as you were saying that. My experience was actually something very similar because when I first started my channel, like I say now, I would say people know me for one, just the guy that makes, you know, video game music. And I'm also known as the Zelda guy. Pretty much is what I'm known for now. But when I first initially came onto the scene, I actually did not create original music. I was just doing remixes. I was taking video game music and making remixes of it and just putting that out. And then every once in a while, I might, you know, throw a rap or a song over one of those instrumentals that I created. But that wasn't really what the focus of my channel was. It was just on the video game remixes. But over time, people started gravitating more towards the songs. So when I said, all right, let's just try something different, and I decided to do my own original music, but just using video game themes, and then that kind of took off. And now the reverse has happened on my channel where more people are coming for the original music than they are the remixes.
Interesting.
So it's like, you have to kind of learn what the people want and you kind of adjust to fit that. And that's kind of what you kind of just shift into that. So like the people kind of let you know what they want and you kind of have to be willing to move into that.
Yeah, which is something I noticed that a lot of content creators are not okay with shaping their content around what the audience wants from you. You know, basically the expectations the audience has for you as a content creator, which is great because you grow. It's how it should be. You grow with the community and they basically shape your content. They mold it to what eventually it's going to be. But then at the same time, as you grow with your community and as you mold this content creation to what they want to watch, you have to have also your own voice. You have to let people know who you are and be genuine about it. That way they know that it's not just a persona or something you're faking it and trying to be.
And I think that's the interesting thing about the YouTube space in general. Because like I said, when I came into this, I was kind of coming more from the music standpoint. Like I considered myself more so an artist than I did a content creator or a YouTuber or whatever you want to call it. And so as I came into this field, I was actually learning these things. Like I've never uploaded a video or had to make a thumbnail or had to get social media to figure out how to do. Like these are all things that I learned and am still learning to do to this day. And that's the interesting thing about the space of YouTube is that, like you said, the audience kind of builds what they want because it's more audience control. Because if people don't like it, they simply don't watch it. And if you don't watch it, then it's like there's no point of you doing that kind of content because nobody's going to watch it.
Yep.
So it's like in a weird sort of way, YouTube has kind of molded my music career. Because it's like, I see what people, I did these kind of songs, people didn't like that. Maybe I should do these kind of songs and see how that works. And then it kind of molded like what my music has become in a weird sort of way. It's like, now I'm doing the music that people want, and they kind of like shape what my music has become. And I don't think you really see that in any other space besides YouTube and like the content creator space in general.
Yeah, I think the blessing that we have now when it comes to brand and product is that, you know, like I've mentioned years ago, when you work on, you know, for the TV industry, the entertainment industry in general, you always have what I call a middleman or a team who's in charge of researching or what gets the, you know, the highest ratings or what's going to attract, you know, the most audience. And because at the end of the day, you know, they have sponsors, they have people who are paying to, you know, for their advertisements to be seen and stuff like that. So they got to really make sure that within the budget they have set for, that it's going to be successful, whatever campaign they have going on. Mm-hmm. You know, for us content creators, we don't have that middleman. So we have absolute control of what we're going to drop on our channel, what we're going to offer. It's more intimate because we have a direct communication with our audience. But then at the same time, it exposes us and makes us vulnerable to them because we are kind of accountable for everything that we're doing on our channel, you know, and basically how we're carrying out our brand and representing them, because at some point they become part of the brand and we're representing what our community looks like to the world.
This is very true. It's a very strange balancing act. Something that I've been learning, and funny enough, I've actually learned quite a bit of this from you. Just how to manage that space in general. Like, cause like I said, I'm kind of new. Technically, I'm more so new to this whole content creation space. Like learning about, how to properly make a thumbnail or how to label your videos and how to title them properly and how to like advertise it. And like, it's been very interesting journey to go from just being like an artist to like, now I'm like the artist / content creator kind of thing going on. And it's interesting to see this side of it and what it really takes, because what I don't think a lot of people understand is how much really goes into what you do. And what I'm learning to do now. And it's just like, there's a lot that goes to it. It's not just record a video and throw it up there. Like it's a lot of thought that has to go into it.
Yeah. I think the way I learned it eventually was that it's the most simplest thing that people overlook. But if you really pay attention, you can learn quite a bit from them. And it's just studying other major brands like Pepsi, you know, or you know, other companies overall within the gaming space and how they promote and market their products. So really sitting down and as simple as just watching how they carry themselves, the tweets they make, their interaction with the audience, but also what, you know, what do they do when they network with other companies, you know, how they just overall represent their brand really teaches you a lot of how seriously you should take your own brand when it comes to social media, which of course, you know, this will lead into another discussion that we'll have, you know, in a near future. But the most important thing is, what do you have to offer and what do you want to be known for? And I think that's what's going to make you unique and stand out from the crowd. And it's also going to help you not make the same old content that is already put out there that honestly everybody has access to, so anybody can decide what or what not they want to listen to at the end of the day.
Very true statement.
Yeah.
Couldn't say it better myself, honestly. You really nailed it in there.
Yeah. Anything you want to add? Because like I can talk from a content creation side, but you know, from an artist side, when it comes to music, what are some things you've had to consider and tweak as you go?
It's a little more difficult to explain, but like from the beginning, I had to decide what I wanted my music to be and what I wanted, the message I wanted to get across and what I was trying to do. And the whole idea behind what I do is like you said, just like the content creation and gaming space, like the music industry is also quite flooded at this point. So I was trying to figure out my way of standing out. What would make me unique? And that's when I took my love for gaming and kind of added it in there. It's like, okay, I want to create something that hasn't really been done before. It's like, I want to make music for gamers its own genre. Like people like, because we enjoy music just like everybody else does. So why isn't there any music geared towards us? Like there's music for pretty much, there's music for the street people, there's music for the country people, there's music for every kind of other field that kind of goes towards what they like. And there isn't anything like that for gamers. So I was like, maybe I can fill that space. And that's what I've been trying to create with Master Sword Music. So once I kind of figured out what I wanted to do, then I just kind of had to develop that out to see what that would look like. And, initially it was just me just making references and just, all right, I'm just going to reference all these video games in my music. But then I was like, what if I started creating themes around it and telling stories and like basically just taking the idea and like expanding it and what kind of audience did I want to reach? What is the age demographic I'm trying to reach? Like, am I going to have adult themes in my music? Is it going to be non-adult themes? Like I had to kind of figure out exactly everything that I wanted my music, the audience that I wanted to reach. And then I had to gear my music towards that audience. It's kind of how, it kind of works in the music industry.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought it because it's not that much different from content creation, because sometimes you're not going to have all those answers at once, especially when you're starting brand new from the beginning and you're just trying to figure things out, as you go. But ultimately, at some point in your journey, you want to be able to answer all these questions, because if you haven't figured it out 5-6 years later, then maybe you have to start reevaluating and seeing if this truly is the career you want to pursue, or you just might need to shift gears and probably consider doing something else. Yeah.
I could definitely agree to that, because even in my journey, there's been times where I had to sit down with myself and be like, is this what I want to do? And this is something that I've always talked about. I said in every content creator or artist journey, there comes that point where you have to sit down and be like, is this what I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Because to really become what you like, all right, so this kind of goes into something we're going to talk about in a different episode. Are you doing, what is the reason behind what you're doing this for? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? If you're trying to, become one of the best, or you're trying to become more known, or are you doing this because it's something you love, or is it a combination of the two? And because then there's different things that you have to do. Like if you're trying to, grow this as your business, then there's a different protocol you have to take. Mm-hmm. And there's sacrifices you're going to have to make. There's changes you're going to have to make that you might not necessarily be 100% happy with, but it's what's necessary to become what you want to become.
Ooh, preach it.
So that's, like I said, I don't want to go too deep into
Feeling
that.
it right now.
I don't want to go too deep into it because I know that's something we're going to be discussing later.
Stepping out of your comfort zone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to do those. And matter of fact, since you brought that up, I can give you an example. That was something that I had to struggle with myself, because when I first started this thing, I wasn't really about being in front of the camera and being the center of attention. And I didn't put my picture in my thumbnails. I didn't have my own picture in my profile picture. I didn't take pictures of myself to put on. So, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I wanted it to be more about my music than about me. But then what I realized is that that's not really how it works.
Yeah.
Like if people get invested in you, and then they'll invest in what you do. So then and this is actually something you taught me, I started, changing my, putting my pictures in my thumbnails and putting myself on my album covers and, being more personable. Just started doing the live streaming stuff and getting myself in front of the camera and doing more so on me. And then people started to invest in me and then invest in what I do. And I had to step out of that comfort zone because I didn't want to be in the spotlight per se. Mm-hmm. I kind of just wanted to be about let the music shine for me and I could just be this nameless entity on the side. But it doesn't really work like that for what I wanted to achieve.
That reminds me, I don't know why, as you kept talking about this and, expanding on that thought, I was thinking about the Pokemon song. I want to be the very best. I don't know why. Yeah, because that might be a goal. You just want to be the very best.
Just want to be the best.
As it should be. You want to be the best version of yourself. Yeah. Because like one of those things, which I will talk later on in another episode, is building that camera confidence. It sounds easy, but it's very challenging. And it required precisely that, me stepping out of my comfort zone and everything I've ever known, and just being able to present a better version of myself to my audience, So a lot of changes and tweaks had to be done along the way to be where we are at now, and like you said earlier, sit down and be real with myself and analyze and see, 5 years from now, do I still see myself as a content creator? Do I still see myself creating content? Is this what I want as a professional career? And am I doing this as a hobby, or am I treating this as a business? And therefore, I'll plan the correct approach for what I'm doing.
Yeah. And that's pretty much how it goes. You have to just determine what you want for yourself. And then that will pretty much determine the path that you take.
So I guess with this, we can finally tie it up into what is one piece of advice that if you were to sit down with somebody that's trying to build a brand, what can we say, based off of our own experiences when it comes to brand versus product?
I would say that even though it sounds weird, at some point and I've told you this about yourself actually at one point, is that at some point you want to become bigger than what you do. And like, that's what I say about you. Like, you've become bigger than what you do. Whereas the point where people will follow you no matter what platform you're on. Like when you went to Twitch, people followed you there. When you went to TikTok, people followed you there. When you become bigger than what you do, then you have built this community around you that people just are more invested in you. No matter what you do, you'll have that following that go with you. So that's one thing that I would say is like, you want to aim for the point where you become bigger than what you do. And the second thing that I would say is have a plan. Sit down.
Don't wing it.
Make a plan. Make a plan. Because winging it will only get you so far. You can make it doing winging it, but it's going to be you're going to reach a ceiling at some point, which I did. Because when I first came out, like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know about content creation and thumbnails and all this stuff. So I was just throwing stuff at the wall. And I made a little bit of a name for myself doing that. But things didn't really take off of me until I sat down and said, okay, what am I doing? How am I doing this? How am I going to approach this? What is my plan? When are my albums going to drop? When am I going to do with these videos? How am I going to plot? Like when I sat down and made a plan, that's when things really started to come to where I am now.
Yeah. I say the most important piece of advice I can always give to anybody that's starting is one, be consistent and be disciplined. Because there's going to be days that you're just not going to want to do it. And it's not about what you feel like doing. It's just being committed to what you've started. So being consistent.
Oh, that's real.
But also just defining yourself truly in what you feel most comfortable doing. I'm not going to sit here and start a Sega Genesis channel when I don't know a thing about Sega Genesis, So don't try to be something you're not or that you know very little about. The way I see it is sit down and see what is the most easiest thing you can talk about for hours and hours and hours. And maybe that might pinpoint you or give you a little bit of an insight of, maybe I should be talking about this instead since I'm more fluent in it and it's easier for me to just express myself and just put it out there so people can understand where I'm coming from and what I have to offer, So yeah, just definitely take that time to sit down and research and see what are you passionate about and start from there.
Yeah.
Which means that I got to pause.
Oh.
Pause. Because talking about branding.
Mm-hmm.
I am so excited.
You so excited?
For something that I've been working for over, Jesus Christ, I've lost count, 3 or 4 years. This has been a dream come true. I think you know where I'm going with this, right?
I think I do.
So I actually want to thank you for helping me make this dream come true. And that is that I have a brand new website. Talk about building a community and owning your community is the importance of having a website. So if you want to know of all things ZapCristal, talking about where I am on social media, what is she posting? What content does she make? How can I support her? When I can join her shenanigans and be a part of the fun, it would be www.ZapCristal.com. I just love it. It has a nice ring to it.
It's pretty straightforward and to the point.
Yeah.
You want to know about ZapCristal? Go to ZapCristal.com.
Yeah. You want to pick up some merch?
ZapCristal.com.
Yeah. You want to know when I go live?
ZapCristal.com.
When I drop videos?
ZapCristal.com.
And when you can listen to this podcast?
ZapCristal.com.
ZapCristal.com.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really happy about having a website now where it's not reliable and it doesn't depend on, other social media accounts, even my YouTube channel. It's just a place where you can join my emailing list and just be a part of the fun, be a part of this amazing community that we have built from scratch. And now we're like an amazing army of Watts.
I like that. Army of Watts.
Army of Watts.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
So I want to thank you for helping me make this dream come true.
You're welcome.
Because you're very talented. I will say.
I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't expecting that. But you are very welcome. It was a pleasure to do it for you.
And thank you, and to all of our listeners right now, for listening and being a part of this episode. Do not forget to check our show notes, just to kind of have a little quick recap of what the episode is about, but also comment, drop your reviews, drop your ratings. Let us know if you enjoyed this episode.
Yes.
What are some things you want to hear from us? And maybe we might consider it and discuss it in a near future episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If you want to be a part of our Patreon, make sure to check it out as well, as we give a first look, a first taste to our Patreons, early access to each and every one of our episodes.
Yeah.
They can listen to it way, 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 way early than everybody else. You get that VIP treatment.
And guess what? If you want to know how to get to that Patreon, you can go to ZapCristal.com. ZapCristal.com.
So guys, thank you so much for listening and for tuning in. I am ready to say goodbye, but as always, remember to reset and zap for the week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.